For a treatment, Loma Linda gives me a Botox, 9 shots in my muscles to make a move because my muscles are actually paralyzed. My journey started when I was 6, so it's a roadmap to my demise. One time I was 6, I was 15. I was perpetrated. So I learned real early how to trade sex for money. I had no worth. My innocence was taken. So that's how I lived my life. I didn't have boyfriends in high school. I had tricks in high school. I would go to school just like everybody else, but get picked up at lunchtime. I went on to marry a man at 18. He was very, very violent. Right now I have 2 shoulder replacements, knee replacements, and pins in my toes. I suffer with severe back pain. However, for my punishments, he would drop me off at the truck stop and tell me to bring so much money home, and if I didn't bring it, my next punishment would be rape. I would come home from work, pull into the garage, and there's my surprise, 4 men. This became a habit. I learned to detach. I learned to exist. I had no worth. I just prayed for my death, because death had to be better than what I was living. But the roadmap from the time I was 6 is what got me where I am today. He isolated me from my family and friends. But that was easy because my perpetrators had already taught me that trip. I was in my late 30s before my life changed. I walked away from the life because after he even went to prison, I continued on in the life. I didn't call myself a prostitute because I dealt with the biggest dope dealers, the hardest hustlers. So they call them Romeo pimps now. I call them ballers. I was a high-priced call girl. So I thought I was better than everybody else that walked the street. But when it comes down to it, I was just what I was. Nothing. So when I decided to finally get my life together, I met a wonderful man. He accepted me. He changed my life. He gave me unconditional love. He accepted me with all my baggage. He pushed me to go back to school. It was a struggle. I was in my mid-40s. I was struggling. So I went back to school. I got a master's in business. That didn't work for me. So somebody said, you need to be a counselor because you're always trying to solve everybody's problems. So I used to be out here on Baseline, Hope Boulevard, because I come from Pomona. And I was always out there trying to get the girls off the street. So they called me Medea. Because I had a lot of pimps out there. I knew they daddies. I knew they granddaddies. You know, so I could get out there and hustle a little quicker to get them girls off the street. But until we start dealing with that grassroots problem, they're going to keep going back to the street. Because you have to develop a desire of worth and to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, there's nothing left for you. So my practice is healing. I specialize in trauma. I'm certified in every type of trauma you can think of. Now, why do I work with sex offenders? Because I've been a victim and a survivor. Now let me understand the perpetrator. I can bring these two worlds together because the parole officers that I work with now that tell me I'm doing a great job because they see a difference. The sex offenders have to understand what they do and how it changed our lives. So our offer is to anybody out here, let's make a plan, let's get together. You get them, send them to me, let me finish it. This is a track run. Because I had the pleasure of working with Family Assistance Program, Open Door. Let me tell you something. Them sisters taught me some stuff. They're a strong bunch of people, and I appreciate it. And I get emotional because I think about the pain that these young girls suffer, because I'm living that pain every morning I get up. But I get up, and whoever called, I'm there. We have to deal with that grassroots, that core of that problem. Because I'm telling you, believe me, it won't change until we heal them from that past pain. You can fix it right now, but you still got to heal that pain. They're going right back to what they know. And we got to stop. We got to start understanding. I've asked the sex offenders, who perped you? I break them down every time, because they have a story as well. But now they're learning to have accountability for their actions, which they never had before. We all have accountability.